I'm Ashton Addison from EventChain for Investmentpitch Media and FinTech News Network. And today on Blockchain Interviews, we have Alex Russman, the Director of Business Development for Enjin. Alex, welcome to the show, and thanks for taking the time to be here.
Thanks for inviting me on, Ashton.
You're very welcome. I'd love to kick off our interview by starting with a better explanation of what is the Enjin platform, what does the platform focus on, and how is it really growing the blockchain and gaming community?
Definitely. Well, Enjin as a company is maybe fairly old within the blockchain space. The company was founded in 2009. But in 2017, our founders, very much as part of the video games industry, became fascinated by blockchain technology and taking those attributes of proven scarcity, ownership, authenticity, and provenance, and applying that to virtual goods, specifically game items. And so since then, we've been developing a platform to enable initially game developers, but now anyone to leverage blockchain assets into their projects. So on the one hand, we have the Enjin platform, which is a suite of tools and services allowing blockchain assets to be incorporated into your project. And then on the other hand, we have this suite of integrated products, the Enjin Wallet, the Enjin Marketplace, the Enjin Blockchain Explorer, allowing users, everyone to come along and interact with these assets. And these assets sit on the Ethereum blockchain. So the Enjin platform and its products are a way to interact with Ethereum-based assets and the Ethereum blockchain. And we launched this platform to the public at the beginning of the year. The wallet and some of our projects predated that. The wallet was launched in 2018 at the start of the year. But this platform was launched having been in development with more than 30 developer teams who have been providing us feedback, meaning it's very much battle tested and stress tested at launch, and we're continuing to take on board feedback and continuing to deliver improvements.
Very cool, Alex. Yeah, Enjin has quite a few different things going on, which is great. And I want to touch on a little bit on each one. And this notion that gaming and the marketplaces inside of gaming being so large, to people that aren't involved in the gaming industry, it's the numbers are actually astronomical. And a lot of people don't really understand, where is the money flowing around and why is this so popular? So in terms of the Enjin marketplace, what are the main kinds of assets, or what are these gaming assets that are being traded around, and why has it become so popular?
Well, certainly on the Enjin marketplace, we see a lot of trade in blockchain game items from the Enjin adopted projects. And these are a complete range of different items. We see blueprints being traded. These are basically kind of recipes for creating certain items within the game. And then those items you've created, those licensing rights you've used to issue items, they can then be traded on marketplaces. And then you also have more sort of standard cosmetics or just collectibles. A very nice feature of the Enjin platform is you can create assets on Ethereum and program into them these transfer fees. So actually, for the first time, digital creators benefit from these items being traded on third-party marketplaces, whether that's the Enjin marketplace or another marketplace like OpenSea. Every change of ownership requires a transfer fee back to the digital creator. So as a result, we see game developers actually creating scenarios where they're encouraging trading and they're seeing their own revenue from transfer fees. So you can go onto the Nginx marketplace and look at assets being traded, see the transfer fees, and see that revenue not just being exchanged between holders of assets, but going back to the digital creators. So on the one hand, huge amount of volume in game items, blockchain game items in the Enjin marketplace, but also a lot of trade in collectibles. And we've run collectibles campaigns for companies like Binance US and Binance Global. Actually, over New Year of this year, we did a special different sets of New Year's collectibles for Binance. And I think over the period of 1 month, there was $61,000 of volume done because people were just trying to collect a full set of these Binance collectibles. And the most expensive one was traded for over $5,000 because it's provably scarce and it was the rarest one. More recently, we did some NFT collectibles for Acoin, and CoinMarketCap are creating their first NFT collectibles with us at the moment. So they're really exciting time, and obviously a lot of hype around NFTs. People love getting their hands on these assets, be able to prove their ownership and prove the scarcity. So it's a fantastic time to be handling digital goods right now.
Yeah, it sounds really exciting. And so there's blockchain gaming assets for in-game, then the notion of collectibles and non-fungible tokens seems like it can expand to almost any kind of digital art or digital asset or anything. It is the market that Enjin is targeting just a marketplace that allows them to trade any type of assets, and is it fairly competitive and growing quickly like at this stage?
I think in terms of the NFT space that we're targeting, it's really anyone who wants to take advantage of their virtual goods being created as blockchain assets, those proven attributes that I've already mentioned. So on the one hand, you definitely have collectibles. We're seeing a lot of people who use the Enjin platform to issue collectibles, and these assets, you have to remember, they don't just end up in the Enjin Wallet or the Enjin marketplace. They're flooding all across the rails of Ethereum, ending up in different wallets and different marketplaces. And so collectibles, obviously a big area. The gaming assets, another large area, seeing a huge amount of growth in interest and activity in blockchain games. It's kind of a mixture of collectibles, but also the utility within virtual spaces. But also Enjin as a company has been pulled into the enterprise realm. And one of the really exciting projects we have involves assets which aren't created to be traded and speculated on. We have a client in Microsoft. We run we help them run a program called Azure Heroes, and this is where Microsoft issues achievements and badges. They have cartoon badges on them, so they're badges with badges for members of their Azure community for being a diversity leader or a mentor. And these are developers who have never come across blockchain before, but they receive an asset and they can view it in their wallet, they can view it on the Blockchain Explorer, see that they have ownership of that, see that it's really scarce, see that it's come from Microsoft, kind of recognizing their achievements. And they have huge value for that person. And so that's a really exciting space to be in.
That's super exciting, and especially partnering with Microsoft and being able to create those different gaming assets. And I guess I want to touch more on the Enjin platform itself, being able to create games as well as gaming assets, having those developer tools. Traditionally, when blockchain coding was first coming out, people had to learn proprietary languages, and it was sort of hard for developers to jump into developing cool things on the blockchain. What does it look like on Enjin's platform? Is it really developer friendly, and do they need to understand the intricacies of blockchain to be able to create these gaming assets really easily?
Well, on the one hand, we have the developer tools and the Enjin platform API. So game developers, some of whom have been working on their game projects for multiple years, and they've recently come across blockchain and they see a fit for their game. They set up an account on the Enjin platform. If you're not working on a project, you can create an account and start creating your own NFTs, your own blockchain assets, actually NFTs and fungible tokens, in a very nice Typeform style interface. So creating the assets is very simple first step. In terms of integrating with your project, yes, we do all the heavy lifting, or the Enjin platform does all the heavy lifting in terms of smart contract creation and blockchain code. And then we have a set of SDKs and other sort of software development kits to make it very easy for projects to interact with the Enjin API. But actually, we see most projects using the GraphQL querying language to do very intricate integrations and interactions with the Ethereum blockchain through the Enjin platform. And that's really great to see. I mean, one of the classic stories I tell is one of the lead developers on the game, actually the project lead for the Six Dragons, Savas. He came across Enjin, he fell down the rabbit hole and started playing around with our platform. And within 48 hours, he had a working integration with the Six Dragons, doing live enchanting and crafting of items in the game. Really amazing economy he's got going on there. Incredible project. Definitely check that one out. But in terms of, on the one hand, you have the developer tools. On the other hand, you have partly our documentation, but also the kind of the knowledge base of the Enjin team and the Enjin adopter community. This is now more than 40 developer teams who have knowledge of working with the Enjin platform and building with blockchain. I think that's the other side. It's not just about saying to game developers, hey, it's really easy to create your game items as blockchain assets. It's about getting them to think in terms of real digital scarcity and real ownership, and what people who interact with these assets now expect of projects and virtual worlds which are integrating blockchain items. And that's where Enjin and the Enjin community provides a huge value add, because it's not just saying, hey, these tools make it easy, but we can help brainstorm with you. You can bounce ideas off us, ask us questions, because it's a big space. It's a big rabbit hole to fall down. And we're there to help projects use blockchain assets in the way that best benefits them and best benefits their community and users.
Definitely. And it seems like there's so much potential, because it seems so early on, even though it's being so popular, once you expand that marketplace into global, into what it will become, it seems like we're really in the early stages. And with the NFTs and the gaming assets that you can create, part of storing your NFTs is you can also use the Enjin Wallet, the secure wallet, to store those. But you can also just store cryptocurrencies and other assets. It seems like the Enjin Wallet is really expanded much even beyond the gaming industry itself. Can you talk about, is the Enjin Wallet really just used for all-around storage of everything, including NFTs, but also just if you just have some Bitcoin and you want to store it there?
Yes, definitely. Well, actually, it was rather the reverse, in fact. So the Enjin Wallet was the first product we launched back in January 2018. And it was launched as a cryptocurrency wallet. And we kept on adding features. Obviously, the long-term or medium-term aim was to support NFTs in the wallet, but we very, very, very strong. One of the best, one of the world's, I'd definitely say one of the world's best cryptocurrency wallets. We were actually one of the first wallets to have an integrated exchange feature as well. We aggregated 4 different decentralized exchanges, so you can trade or you can swap your tokens within the wallet. And yes, you can now store your NFTs and fungible tokens created using the ERC 1155 standard on Ethereum, development of which was led by our CTO Vitek, actually. And the wallet just keeps on getting richer and richer in terms of features. So we have a dApp browser, so you can interact with all your Web3 apps. But it also integrates perfectly with obviously the Explorer that powers it, but also the Enjin Marketplace. So it's a matter of looking at your asset within the wallet, and with a press of a button, you can list it on the Nginx Marketplace. If you see an item you like on the Nginx Marketplace, you scan a QR code and you pay and receive the asset. So it's a fantastic experience, but it is one which we have taken a lot of feedback on and observed a lot of behavior, and we feel we can make it a lot more convenient. It's already a great experience. We keep on adding more features, but we feel we can make it much more convenient as a way to introduce people into the blockchain world. So as a kind of sneak sort of upcoming development, we're going to have an overhaul of the wallet and make it a lot more usable for everyone, right from people who are deep into blockchain and blockchain games through to enterprise users and everyday users. It should be the go-to wallet, we feel. And obviously, blockchain gaming is a great way to get people introduced to blockchain assets. And we want the blockchain wallet, the Enjin Wallet, to be the great way to introduce people to the blockchain world and ecosystems.
That's great. Well, I'm looking forward to that update, and I have used the Enjin Wallet myself, and I know that it is great. But whenever there's updates, it's always exciting as well. And part of the Enjin Wallet is storing the Enjin coin, and I don't want to go through this without at least mentioning the Enjin coin and how it's used within the ecosystem and how it really provides value to the Enjin platform. And if you could touch on that, that would be great.
Yes, well, every item created through the Enjin platform, whether it's a fungible token or a non-fungible token, is created with an amount of Enjin locked into it. And there's no maximum to this. We have some blockchain assets which exist on the Ethereum blockchain with more than 1 million Enjin coin locked inside. But there is a minimum based on kind of economies of scale and how much you're producing. So if you're creating one magic sword, it require you to have 10 Enjin locked inside that. But if you're creating 10,000, then each one might only need a hundredth of an Enjin coin. And the idea here is that when you hold the asset, you can choose to destroy or melt it at any time and take out that Enjin coin. So all of your assets have real world value. And we see people minting assets with more Enjin coin inside them for various reasons, perhaps prestige, or perhaps because they're funding for doing a crowdfund for a game, and they want to show that they're putting real value in their items and rewarding early participants. And it's kind of similar to, you can buy an iPhone which has a small amount of gold in the components, or you buy a gold encased diamond studded iPhone as well. So the community says melt is murder. So generally the value of the asset is much more than the Enjin locked inside, but there's that real world value there, and it's the backing for all the items created through the Enjin platform.
That's really interesting. I didn't know that. And you mentioned earlier in the interview about partnering with enterprises and enterprise solutions, and I'm also just curious on how Enjin is going to become one of the main gaming leaders and become one of the biggest, or partner with some of the biggest gaming companies in the world. What kind of enterprise partnerships and pathways are you taking to help grow the platform as well?
Well, on the one hand, there's the relationships with all the game development teams we're working with. So it's very much an ongoing process where we've learned that the best direction to innovate is in the direction that, the demand of our clients and partners pulls us. So the platform was able to be launched as battle tested and stress tested as it was because of the partnerships we have with various game studios and partners. And we're continuing to work with them to understand where their pain points are. So delivering the SDKs that they require to be able to build effectively with as little friction as possible. We're all about kind of removing the friction there. And then the enterprise side has been invaluable for understanding, what kind of interfaces that are needed to hand over these projects once they're built to kind of business as usual teams. So for Microsoft, we've been creating a lot of enterprise dashboards involving team management and permissions. And this is really about being able to hand something over to existing team member or community without them worrying that they're going to click that button that destroys a project permanently. Immutability is quite a scary quite a scary proposition for someone who's told, look, if you do something wrong, it's gone forever. And I think that's, again, part of the knowledge that we're building here by working with a range of partners. But it's about taking blockchain to that next level. It's about putting it in the hands of as many people as possible. And it is about removing friction and increasing education and removing that fear of interacting with the technology. And so to kind of return to your question, this is about being able to go to bigger partners and bigger projects and say, look, these tools are ready for you. These are interfaces you can interact with, and we're going to be there to support you. But you're going to be able to do this yourself. And that's the important part.
That's great to know. And we are running out of time, Alex, but so you are looking for more enterprise partners potentially. Are you also looking for just more gamers or developers or just more wallet users? And how can they find out and get involved with the community?
Definitely in terms of game developers, actually everyone should jump onto Enjin.io, our website, check out the Powered by Enjin page, explore the games who are using Enjin. Many of them are already live. So download the wallet if you haven't already. Definitely download the wallet. Like I said, even more exciting features coming. And you jump into the Enjin games. These are some of the most entrepreneurial and innovative people I speak to, because they have their own projects. They're doing incredible things within the gaming space anyway. But they are using blockchain in ways that we could not have foreseen. Their community is then interacting in these virtual worlds that they could not have foreseen. And it's just an incredibly exciting space to be part of. And Enjin Wallet is your virtual backpack, your virtual companion to see yourself through these virtual worlds. If you're an enterprise and you want and you handle virtual goods, you should probably consider doing something, doing something with blockchain assets, turning them into blockchain assets, proven scarcity, authenticity, provenance, ownership. Really exciting, really exciting sort of use cases open up there. So come talk to us. And the final part would be the one aspect for the Enjin platform we haven't spoken about is our upcoming scaling solution, Efinity. So this is about even further moving those kind of key issues of friction around speed and the transfer cost. With Efinity, people will be able to receive and send blockchain assets instantly with no cryptocurrency required, and it's going to open up a huge amount of adoption there. So it's an incredibly exciting time. So come speak to us, everyone. I always love talking about technology, as you might have guessed. But yes, come speak to us. We're doing a lot of cool stuff, and we definitely have a use case for you.
Definitely. That's very exciting. And I didn't hear about the scaling part, but I'm looking forward to diving into that. I will leave the links to Enjin's platform and all the social links in the description box below. I appreciate you taking the time to come on, Alex. All the best with Enjin moving forward, and let's follow up in the near future.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Ashton.